I'll go and lead us off. If that's okay. All right. Let me make sure I'm looking at the right agenda. Then it's May 4th, CD. Okay. It is 6 o'clock on May 4th, 2026. And I am Councilmember Johnson. Councilmember Washington will almost certainly be here shortly. So I don't think we need to excuse his absence. He'll probably be back in the door in any minute now. We will start off with the roll call with myself, Councilmember Johnson. I'm here. Councilmember Murphy is here. We're joined by the mayor, and we also have, oh boy, title, Community and Economic Development Director. Mona Davis is here, along with our Finance Director, probably when we get down to the budget amendment, if I had to guess. And then next thing is the agenda approval. Are there any changes that any council members present would like to make? Okay. Mayor, anything special do you want? Okay. Then unless there is objection, we will consider the agenda approved. And then I think that what we might do then is, if I may call a 5-minute recess. All right, I might call 5-minute recess then, unless he's coming in the door right now. No? Okay, then let's do a 5-minute recess and hopefully Councilmember Washington will be back to continue on. All right.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll pick up where Councilmember Johnson left off. So I think you left off with public comment. That's correct. Yep. So again, I'll introduce myself. I'm Louis Washington, Chair of CD Committee. We are looking for public comment. Do we have anyone here today wishing to make a public comment? Okay, I don't see anyone here for public comment. So we now move to our next item on the agenda, which is approval of the minutes dated April 6th, 2026 and April 20th, 2026. Last meeting, we didn't have the April 6th minutes, so we do now. So we'll approve both minutes, both sets of minutes for the meetings. Do we have any comment or any concerns on the minutes? No. Anything from administration? Okay. If there are no questions or comments on this, we'll go ahead and consider the minutes approved. Next on our agenda is Agenda Bill AB 26-02, Budget Amendment adding Economic Development and Human Services Coordinator. At this point, I'll turn the meeting over to our Finance Director.
All right. Thank you very much, Chair, and good evening, Council. I've got Mona Davis here with me today as well to discuss this Economic Development Coordinator position. I believe previously you received a presentation from her that described service levels in her department, as well as maybe potentially some proposed staffing changes. As a result of that, we have brought to you tonight a budget amendment seeking to add one Economic Development Coordinator position to the budget for the remainder of the 25-26 biennium. In essence, this ordinance is requesting an additional appropriation of $83,000 to support the hiring of that position through the remainder of the year. As a consequence of potentially adding this position to the budget overall, is this will have an ongoing funding obligation that the city will have to commit to if we choose to add this to the 25-26 biennial budget. I'm going to send a request to Jimmy back there to present. Let's see. Thank you. All right, and so how we intend to fund this position over time is we intend to use, at least for 2026, basically general fund cash. We currently have a fund balance of roughly $2.5 million that we could use to support this position through the remainder of this year. But in addition to that, we have some funds. If you recall recently, Council approved a number of agenda bills recently that moved the recurring construction sales tax and the utility tax from our governmental capital fund back into the general fund. This would be a general fund position. Because the dollars that we moved of those two revenue sources back in the general fund exceeded the amount that we had appropriated for our ongoing outside legal services as a part of the previous budget amendment, we have dollars left over that we can now allocate towards, say, a position like this right here. And so as a consequence, that is what we would propose to how we would fund this position ongoing. For specifically in this case, 27 and 28 moving forward, is to utilize the remaining of those funds, the recurring construction sales tax, as well as the utility tax in order to support this position moving forward. And so in essence, that's just a very simple presentation, very simple budget amendment as well. Once again, we are seeking to add one economic development coordinator position to the CD department to support our ongoing needs within that area. Thank you.
You have a question? Councilmember Johnson?
So of the 310 that would be there without this, I guess what I'm counting is that could add up to something in the neighborhood of 2 FTE, and then this would be one of them if we were to spend all of that on FTE. Not saying that that's the plan or anything, but it sounds like that's what it could be. I guess it's more of a comment than a question.
So I'm just puzzled by the $310,000 and how you arrived that total.
You mean
Let's see.
the 310 fund?
No, Jennifer, that from the operating budget. Using a portion of the 310. Where? I just saw it a second ago. Where'd it go? Oh, yes, here it is. Right, so in the analysis.
Okay.
Yeah, it leaves approximately 310,000 of unallocated recurring construction sales tax and utility tax. And that 310, I guess you could say includes this. Like this is part of the 310.
Yes, so the $152,000 that you see on this slide for 27,
Right.
plus the 162 gets you to roughly 310.
Never
So
mind.
we have to
I take it back.
for the 2 years instead of just 1 year.
Yeah, never mind. Yes, it's 2 years, not just 1 year. Got it. So that would be it.
Yeah.
Rats.
Councilmember Murphy?
I know we covered this a bit last time, but Director Davis, I'm wondering if we could just at a high level kind of walk through some of the goals for the role, kind of some of the aspirations for what this this new role will kind of seek to seek to cover, and kind of some of that would be great.
Certainly. Thank you, Commissioner Murphy, or I'm sorry, Councilmember Murphy. This economic development coordinator position would help us to better track the businesses that we have in the city, and also vacancies that are becoming more apparent in the business park. They'd work directly with the chamber on trying to bring in new business. They would be looking for grants to try to award to our existing businesses and to promote bringing in new businesses. They would help with just basically economic development kind of engagement. They would attend. There's a lot of economic development meetings in the greater Seattle region, and they would be attending those and trying to see, how to further enhance our city to bring more business and more tourism to Snoqualmie. Am I missing anything, Mayor?
Sorry, I'm just pulling up the presentation from your last meeting. Yeah, the key things are right now we have in the area of community engagement, economic development, the things that we do are the community engagement position. It's filled by Nicole Wiebe. So that's things like community events, community outreach, boards and commissions, and community interaction, if you will. What we're not doing right now, what nobody's doing, and what we'd like to fund is kind of broadly two big things: economic development and human services. So this is engagement with the chamber right now. The chamber does a lot of things to advance business interests in our community, but we rely on them. We don't support them. We don't add anything into that other than we do try to fund a few things, but that's really in that community event space. So business partnerships, understanding what the business needs are, attracting businesses to our community, things like monitoring vacancy rates. We know that we have a high vacancy rate, for example, in the business park, but we don't have anyone that monitors that. We don't know what that vacancy rate is. We're not doing anything to try and attract businesses into those spaces. The same with retail spaces on the ridge, retail spaces downtown. Right now, the city's really not doing anything because we don't have any position funded. We don't have anyone to apply on trying to develop that. Human services coordination, I think I shared with you, we literally actually didn't even get checks out this year because there was no one actually monitoring that, hey, we need to do that. But we also don't have anyone monitoring what those needs are and reporting back either to me or to you. As an example, in this year's budget, we have a 3% increase to the food bank, but no one's reported back to you that in fact their demand has gone up 21% over the last year. And so that's something that we're not even monitoring or aware of. So we can't even come to you and talk about potential options to assist with that. I'm not sure what we might have had, but it's not even coming on our radar. So trying to interact with human service providers, understand their needs, bring that forward more timely to council and to the administration, interacting with the Chamber of Commerce, trying to help things in the whole Upper Valley that will bring in tourism, that will bring in business, working with businesses on what the city can do to help them be more successful. And this is no small thing, but there's a tremendous amount of grant funding available if we pursue it that will help fund things in our business community, in our downtown area, up on the ridge, in our retail areas. So seeking that grant funding to try and bring in funds to help leverage that into more, to better outcomes for our business community. And then the other thing I kind of spoke to you about is the notion that most of our businesses are doing a pretty good job of advertising themselves. But there's things we can do to advertise them as a group that they don't tend to do on their own. So, for example, you might say, hey, here's this great restaurant I enjoy going to, but I may not want to go to that restaurant every time I go out to a restaurant. So what other restaurants are there? Shop local, which is sort of a generic term, but really getting people to know in Snoqualmie, hey, these are the restaurants, for example, that we have, and making sure they know the full range of them and trying to help generate more revenue into our local base. So all of those kind of areas we have this sort of term economic development, but that's what it means, trying to attract business in, make our businesses more successful, and leverage grant funding in to help all of that happen. Did that answer your question, or do you want more specific?
No, that's it. I think that's great. And may I just have a follow-up comment? I think, like as I said last time, we have to compete with the municipalities around us, right? I think other municipalities are dedicating headcount and resources into this function. As the mayor said, the retail environment up on the ridge and the vacancies is a really challenging environment right now, and we're heading into economic headwinds that will require some extra support. The Snow Valley Chamber covers a lot more than the city of Snoqualmie, right? They're up and down the valley, and having a dedicated resource for our business, our businesses, our small businesses, our retailers, and our human services as well is going to be something that I think is going to help us a lot. So I'm very, very much supportive of this and eager to see how this kind of takes off.
Thank you, Councilmember Murphy. So my question is, so it's an ordinance, so it's a two read. Assuming that the larger council approves the budget amendment, when are you looking to have this person in place? Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, so that would mean if the council were to pass it through in the next 2 sessions. That would mean at the end of May, we'd have an approved position. It would then take us probably, we already have a job description. So it would probably take us a week to 2 weeks to get that posted, probably closer to a week, but to get that posted. Typically, then we give 2 to 3 weeks to receive those applications. And then there's a interview process that usually takes a couple weeks. So, all in, it's probably 2 months after this. So, end of July is probably when we realistically could have someone on the ground in the position.
Okay. And just a quick follow-up to that, Mr. Mayor. So obviously this would be a pretty high profile position. Development coordinator probably wants someone that's fairly connected to the broader Snow Valley economy. Is this something that you're looking to recruit directly, or are you potentially thinking about using a firm, outside firm?
So typically, positions like this are something that we recruit internally. As you know, we have an HR department that now is kind of staffed up to do most recruiting internally. Now, when we just want, say, a temp position and we want someone quickly and it's just on a contract basis, then we use outside agencies. But where we're hiring a permanent employee, we now do almost all of that in-house.
Okay, thank you. Follow up, Mr. Mayor, please.
Yeah, Chair, if I could, one of the things we're particularly focused on and will be in place by the time we're doing this is we want to encourage and make sure that we're doing everything we can to attract women and minority candidates. And so we're kind of stepping up our process around that, and I expect that to be in place as well. So kind of one of the things that you kind of think about in that regard is you look at your community and you try to have staff that reflect your community. Look, we're always going to pick the best person for the job that we can find, but we can take steps to try and encourage those candidates to apply, and we're planning to step up our efforts in that regard.
I'll make a comment to that. I think that's well said, Mr. Mayor. I think that as diverse of a candidate pool we can wrap our arms around with, only positive things follow. Councilmember Johnson.
Yeah, one of my big concerns with our retail areas has been a steady decline in the diversity of types of businesses, where we have dwindling types of restaurants, for example, as mentioned. And I'm wondering if this person could find some of those big gaps that are kind of missing in our 2 main retail areas, and kind of aid in the process of helping the chamber or others who are involved in recruiting businesses of those types. So we don't have a whole bunch of a particular type that are all kind of competing against each other, but really they all lose out because they're missing some really important anchor type of service that is really vital to a retail area. So is that one of the things that they could potentially help out with?
Mr. Mayor.
Absolutely right. That's exactly the kind of thing. Right now, yes, our landlords who are trying to rent space, they advertise, but they take whatever efforts they take to just fill their space. This is a chance for us to devote someone to really going after the kind of businesses we think would fill out the sort of broad business offering and kind of address that concept of leakage, right? Which is that once someone leaves our community to do one task, they may do many tasks, some of which are very much available in our community. And so the more we can keep folks in the community for all of their needs, the better our whole our whole business community will do. So we're absolutely looking at that. And Chair Washington, if I could just mention, I want to modify my earlier comment. I said specifically women and minority owned, but I want to be clear. It's really, we're looking for more diverse applicant pools. Yes, that's minorities and women, but it's diversity across the board in many ways. So that was the word I somehow was blanking on for a minute, but we're absolutely want to increase and attract, let me try that again, to increase the diverse applicant pool and attract them to apply to jobs that we have.
Councilmember Johnson.
Another thing that happened recently was, I believe it was last year, was when the council adopted a change to the retail overlay in both downtown and Snoqualmie Ridge. And that changes potentially what kinds of businesses could fill and in what proportions those units. And I'm not sure to what degree potential landowners who would be renting those spaces are aware that potentially things that had been the expectation in the past that could fill those spaces may not really be on the table anymore. And so if they wanted to get them filled, here are some kinds of businesses that can fill them.
Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, it's exactly right. Right now, we don't have any, we have our planning team, which is, we're still trying to fill out. But they're right now certainly responding to requests that come in. This position gives us a chance to go out and contact those landlords and do exactly the kind of thing you're talking about to help encourage them in those ways. So absolutely, and you heard Director Davis mention in her comment that this is a person that can go to some of the things outside organizations, meetings of outside organizations. The thing is, that's the kind of place where we can go find where those businesses are, find them, and then attract them in. So that's the kind of thing she's talking about. Is there's just a whole level of activity around how do we make all that happen more strongly.
Yeah. So, sorry, I'll just make a couple of quick comments. I knew your intention, Mr. Mayor, when definitely, like I said, a broader, diverse, I think, walk of life experiences, right? In our application pool, absolutely. My comment around when potentially will we have someone in place is, well, because we need this immediately. We have some gaps in our commercial portfolio here that desperately need to be filled. And I like the idea of attracting and recruiting. So with that said, I know Director Davis has done a lot and just really, really busy and can't get to everything, right? But I think if we could have someone who specializes in that, I think that's going to benefit our city. I want to go to Councilmember Murphy.
Yeah, so I'm obviously very excited about this, and I think as we're thinking about the right fit and the role and the applicant for the individual, in addition, augmenting what's already been said, I think looking at someone who's like, obviously, it's exciting to have someone wake up in the morning thinking about how we grow our economic base, right? Looking at the restaurant and the hospitality sector, both up on the ridge and then down here where we have tourism and visitors coming in for the day and hopefully longer. I think it's also looking into how do we dial into Seattle's tech economy with respect to the business park and thinking a little bit more unconventionally and creatively around how we might be able to fill spots up there and what businesses in this kind of broader economy of Seattle could, look to Snoqualmie. And then more tactically, I really think up on the ridge, we really need an anchor tenant, a tenant addition. We have the necessities, we have our supermarket, we have some of the things that we need for daily life. But I think bringing in an anchor tenant that can maybe bring folks out to us, like where we have people coming and spending money here and drawing them in from Issaquah, in from North Bend, I think could be exciting. So I think obviously there's a lot of good ideas to bandy about with respect to this role. And again, just excited that we'll have someone who's like waking up every day and thinking about this because I think it's really needed.
Councilmember Johnson.
I always wondered if there was someone out there who remembers the Iron Horse down in I think it was in Pioneer Square, if I remember correctly. Oh, this was 100 years ago when I was a young kid. And we do have these big trains here. I've just always had a dream that maybe someone would have that vision.
Yeah, I'll make a comment. I was ended up at the Mariners game yesterday and they lost. But withstanding that, I kind of think about that Soto area and how it's been revitalized. And I remember Councilmember Johnson's talking about being young. I remember being young and that just being a real industrial area and not somewhere that you would, excuse me, yes, necessarily go out and hang out after a game, right? But being down there yesterday and just seeing how a lot of that area has been revitalized and restored and how vibrant it is. And a lot of it's local commerce, local businesses. It's just so it can definitely be done. So I'm excited to have this position, excuse me, potentially have this position, move this forward, move this agenda bill forward. Obviously, it cannot go in consent, but I'll just kind of look to the other committee members here. Are we okay moving this forward to the broader council? Okay. So let's move it forward for our next council meeting. And is that going to be on the 11th? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And 2 readings, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
So the 11th and then the 25th will be the second.
It'll be the 26th because it's
Labor Day?
a holiday, Labor Day,
Okay.
or
Memorial Day.
Memorial
Sorry,
Day, rather. Yeah.
Memorial Day.
So Tuesday, the 26th. Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay. So if there aren't any other questions, is there a additional comment?
Next item.
Okay, so we'll move to the next item. So next item on the agenda is a discussion item, which is Chamber's 10-year plan presentation to council. Mr. Mayor.
So the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce has requested to present to the city council the Chamber's 10-year plan. So that would be a presentation at a full council meeting. So we're asking you for permission to put that on the agenda. I think there are a number of presentations backed up. So while we might, so I think we're asking for your permission to bring it as early as May 11th, I think, which is next Monday. I think it's unlikely that that will be the timing. But as soon as F&A, finds room for it, we'd like to bring that forward to the full council, looking for your permission to put that on the agenda.
Sounds good. Councilmember Johnson.
Yeah, I seem to remember that there was a request from the hospital district to do a presentation on the hub that was technically coming through this committee to the agenda. I wonder if the administration has, since I don't remember what the queue was, kind of like the order that the request came in so that F&A, we can kind of start to do this in an equitable way. Yeah, when I used to work fast food, sometimes someone would order a small item. We were able to get it going real fast. And then the other people got kind of grumpy about it. Like, well, what about me? I was here first. Trying to avoid that kind of a situation. That would be very unintentional. It's just, I can't remember what the order was. And I'd like that to be a factor perhaps for F&A to consider as we try to get through the backlog of presentations.
Did you have sorry, Mr. Mayor.
I'm not sure we remember exactly the order they first contacted us in, but I have been in contact regularly, at least once a week, if not twice, with both the executive director at SVH and at the chamber, and they're fine with us working them in. Neither one of them had urgency, as in like it has to be this week, but they are eager to get in front of you with their plans, but they're fine with being slotted in. They understand the backlog and that you're working through that, and we're keeping them updated constantly. So they're all none of them are feeling slighted. They understand and they're rolling with us. And they would let us know if they suddenly felt urgency, and then we'd communicate that to you.
Just a quick question for Councilmember Johnson. So I'm sorry, I just want to make sure I'm understanding you correctly. Did I hear that maybe we let F&A kind of decide the order? Is that what I've heard, or I'm sorry?
I guess I'd raise my hand.
Okay, please
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, well, what I mean is that when we get the council agendas, those are approved by F&A. So F&A kind of has that discussion of figuring out
Okay.
which presentations are moving forward when.
Right.
And yeah, I just don't want to somehow get too much out of order in a way that
Right.
would seem unfair to anyone.
Right, right,
But without some other justification for why.
right. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Did you have a question?
Nope.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, and kind of given other things that I'm on FNA as well, but other things that are guess I'll say taking priority right now for city's business as well. So, and where we are also trying to streamline as much as we can the agenda because there are some other things that are taking priority. So, okay. Any other comments on discussion item 4? Okay. So that'll move us to discussion item number 5, which is PSRC. Excuse me, PSRC regarding housing presentation to the council. Mr. Mayor.
So I've spoken with the executive director of the Puget Sound Regional Council about your request as a committee that we get more information to the council on how housing targets are being set, what those housing targets are, what's the process by which cities like Snoqualmie are ending up with the particular targets they have, what are some of the tools that are available to us that the state, PSRC, and county think that we should be looking at. Take us through some of those tools and help us understand them, how they're being used elsewhere, and so forth. So he has agreed to come do that. I've actually asked for a series of 2 presentations, although the second one may not be by him. It may be one of his subordinates who are more into the specifics. The second presentation separately would be, tell us about the housing targets that were assigned to Snoqualmie. Exactly what is that about? What is expected of us? What's the basis under which that was determined? So we could really try and get in and understand exactly what's being asked of us and why. I felt like, or my understanding was, those were both things that you were looking for, and it's really 2 separate presentations. So with the executive director of the PSRC, my request to him was that he would address our full council, not just a committee. And so he's indicated that he's absolutely willing and eager to come do that with us. He is currently in Europe on vacation, just left. So we'd like your permission to put this on the council agenda and schedule it as a presentation there as soon as he's back. And so we'll work on scheduling that. I doubt it would be next Monday, but perhaps as early as the 26th. So again, just looking for your permission to put that onto the council agenda at a time we can agree to with Josh Brown.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I'll defer to the committee.
Fully support it. It's great.
No comment. Great. Make it so.
Yep. I think you have full approval, Mr. Mayor, to
Okay,
potentially
thank
put
you.
that on the council agenda. I think it's a
Wonderful.
great idea. So, okay. So if there is no further business to come before the committee, oh, sorry, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, just we have received some unfortunate information about our senior planner position that we've been trying to fill. Did you want me to mention, or did you want to?
Go ahead.
Uh,
You're on a
so-
roll tonight.
So that there's a senior planner position, as you're aware, that we're trying to fill. We went through a interview process, picked a candidate, extended an offer. Unfortunately, that candidate has declined our offer. Between the time that they applied and went through the process with us, they discovered that they were having a new child and decided that, given everything to do with their family situation, that actually they did not. It was not the right time to move here with a brand new baby. So, or with a brand new baby on the way, I suppose. So, unfortunately, we are going to have to restart that process of filling our senior planner position. So that's a setback in timing, but we will go back at it, but just wanted to let you know that's the status. So disappointment, but not because of anything to do with our city, just sometimes things happen, life.
So in essence,
Congratulations to them.
yeah, congratulations. In essence, for us, we're back to the drawing board.
Well, we know the position that we're trying to fill, and we will start a new hiring process. And as I mentioned, again, we will be, as part of that, actively seeking as diverse an applicant pool as we can.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the update, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for letting us know that. Okay, if there aren't any other comments, I'll move the close here. So there being no further business to come before this committee, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Excuse
Second.
me,
Oh,
we were going to items for future discussion.
I don't see any items for future discussion.
On your, maybe I'm on the wrong.
I don't.
agenda.
Does anyone have items for future discussion? I don't see items for future discussion. Councilmember Johnson?
yeah, so the title was there, but there wasn't anything under it. Usually if there's nothing there, usually we assume that there wasn't
There's
going to be a
nothing.
discussion on it, but Chair, at your discretion.
There are
if there's
items for
something
future
bring up-
discussion from the administration?
I
Perspective.
just wanted to mention that I'm looking to thank you, council, for approving the contract with Burke
okay.
Consulting to start the zoning map update. And we're trying to hit the ground running. So I'm hoping to have them come to you on the 18th with the kickoff meeting to kind of lay out the timelines. So I'd have them present to you and then come to the planning commission
Okay.
afterwards so that everybody is aware of kind of what we're trying to get done, what our timelines look like to finish this work by the end of the year. So I just wanted to mention that.
So potentially, Director, if I'm hearing you correctly, it would come before the committee for presentation kickoff
Yes.
on our next meeting, the 18th.
Yes.
Burke, that is.
Yes.
Okay.
That's my
That's good
plan.
news. Okay. We definitely, I don't want to speak for the committee, but I would definitely welcome that. I think the other committee members would welcome that as well. But thank you. Thank you for the update.
You're welcome.
Okay. Is there anything else to add? Going once, going twice? Okay. So there being no further business to come before this committee, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. We are adjourned at 6:44.